Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs, and today I have my June bullet journal to share with you. So let's jump right into the setup. So I am going to use the same journal I've been using all year so far, and it's hard to believe we're already 6 months in. Mind-boggling, but we are. So let's set it up. So I am going to kind of mimic the journal setup that I did for May. I really loved how that was laid out. So I'm going to do it this very, very similar to what I've already done and kind of just try to rearrange things a little bit. So for that, I'm going to do the cover page on the left page and then the calendar on the right side, whereas opposed to May, I did it the opposite direction. And so I'm laying out my calendar, and I really liked this little calendar because I add things to the days like a dot or a star or whatnot. And then that tells me at a glance very quickly if I already have something booked that day so that I don't try to rebook myself, so then I can go and look into it a little more depth. Now, if you needed a bigger calendar, you could of course create that, but I like this kind of little calendar and then a lot of room for decoration. So that's what I've been doing. And my calendar squares are 4x4. So if you have an A5 journal, they're probably fairly similar, although I have heard that they're not all the exact same measurements, so be aware of that, but that is what I worked out here. And of course, I did do 5 rows, although June technically crosses 6. I'm just going to put the 1st with the 8th so that I don't have to worry about that. So, I mean, if you wanted to, you could have a 6-row calendar. I chose to do 5 and then just have the 1 sit with the 8 because I have the 1st sitting with my May weeks. So I'm not going to repeat that, but that is what I did. And then because I wanted to bring in some of this really pretty pattern paper that I have there, I brought in the color Victorian Velvet, and I'm going to have that kind of accent a few areas because I thought it matched the purple flowers or the dusty rose flowers really well in that pattern paper. So a lot of what I'm going to use is from the Grabbie spring box that they sent me. I did an unboxing 2 weeks ago, I think, a week ago. I'm sorry, my time flies. I don't even know what day it is, but I did the unboxing a little while ago. And a lot of what I'm going to use in the setup is from the spring box. The only exception is the papers I'm going to use are actually from the Easter box. But all the stickers, everything else is from the spring box. And then, of course, a couple of things thrown in from my own stash. But the pattern paper, I measured out what I wanted to sit on. So I wanted to stay within the dot grid. So I measured that out, and then I trimmed off the excess so that I didn't have to waste it sitting underneath this piece of paper that you wouldn't be able to see. So that's what I did. I just used my pencil, I drew a line, and then I cut along that line. And then I'm going to glue everything down. I'm going to use my favorite liquid glue. You, of course, could use liquid, or you could use your own liquid glue. You could use, double-sided tape, whatever you prefer. I just like liquid glue because it gives me a few seconds of wiggle room, which I generally need. I struggle to line things up well, so that's kind of what I go with. And then I did also cut out the word June just for I want to call it my sentiment. You guys can tell I make a lot of cards. For the month header in a very cool die set that I own from ScrapBook.com. It's their festive alphabets, and everything that I used will be linked and listed down below if you're ever curious. And if you ever have a question about something, please leave it in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer. It does take me a little bit to answer comments, but if I see a question, I always answer that right away. So if you have one, please leave it for me so that I can respond and let you know whatever the question is. So this little doily is from the spring box from Grabbie, so I'm just bringing that in because I love it. I kind of wanted a really romantic vibe for this month, and I know, May was like cherry blossoms, so this isn't exactly like a huge jump from May. The color scheme is a little bit similar, other than there's more like an Audrey blue in there, or Tiffany blue, like that kind of color, but I'm kind of trying for a romantic look. So that is what I was thinking. So hopefully that kind of comes across. I didn't really aim for a specific color palette necessarily. I just was kind of aiming to use this pattern paper, and then I kind of built off it from there. And I think it turned out really pretty. And then that lady sticker, that of course is also from the spring Grabbie box. There was this huge envelope of all these beautiful lady stickers, and I love pretty lady stickers. I think they're a lot of fun to add to stuff. So I thought that she was really pretty. It looks like she's dancing, and I thought that was kind of fun for a little bit of movement in the cover page. And I am going to come back later and add a couple of little gems to the front page as well. But that won't be until the end because I wasn't sure what I wanted to add at this point. So I kind of left it alone. Now I would suggest you add your decorations before you do your stamping if you're going to do stamping. I am doing stamping. I'm going to bring in my Victorian velvet again, and I just have the sophisticated script stamps. This is just a letter stamp set by Concord and Ninth, and I'm going to stamp down the days of the week. So I start my week on a Sunday. I'm Canadian. That's how my calendar starts. And I also like to keep Sunday, Monday together because those are the days that my husband has off of work. So those are now the days that I like to take off. So it's kind of like keeping my weekend together. It's just that the weekend starts at the beginning of the week instead of the end, if that makes sense to my layout. You, of course, can lay this out however you like. You can do, Monday to Sunday and keep the Saturday and Sunday together. But for me personally, I like the week to lay how my calendar does. So that is what I aimed for. So I just went through and did Sunday to Saturday in my calendar with those cool scripty stamps. And then I'm just going to write out the first 3 letters of each day. So like SUN, MON, that kind of thing for each day of the week, kind of just along where I have the stamp and along the top of the calendar. It looks a little bit busy, I think, from the camera view, but to me personally, I love how it looks because I kind of like the contrast of that dusty rose color with the black, but that's just kind of my way of doing it. You don't need the stamp in the background, though I think it looks really pretty. And then I did go and fill in the days of the week starting on the 2nd. I am going to add the first later. You're going to see it up here at the top of the Saturday box. It has the 8th in it. And this is just because I didn't want to do a 6-week calendar. You absolutely can. I just chose not to. And then this is the leftover from that pattern paper I have in the background of my June kind of cover page. And I'm just trying to figure out how I want to decorate the calendar page. This is why I suggest you decorate first, because I'm going to have to cover up a little bit of my stamping, and then I'm going to have to re-stamp it, which if you're a person who uses stamps a fair amount like I do, it's not terribly difficult, but if you had like a wood-based stamp, you wouldn't be able to line it up because you wouldn't be able to see it. Well, you might be able to line it up. Maybe you're amazing at that. I don't know. But I personally would struggle. So here I wanted to use a little more of that pattern paper, but of course I'm keeping it within the grid lines or the dot grid. So it's going to sit over top of some of my stamping and a little bit of the word Sunday or sun. And so I'm going to have to go and redo that. Luckily, I did pretty good. I stamped it out and it looked really good. But be aware of that. Like if I had stuck this paper down first, that wouldn't have even been an issue. But because I did it after, because I wasn't totally sure what I wanted, I did have to go back and do that. So, and then I'm going to add another one of these beautiful doilies. These are just so fun. And they're in this beautiful kind of cream color, which is great because the paper of my journal is actually cream based, which I was a little leery about at first just because I can't cover mistakes easily. But now after I've kind of been at it for a little while, I don't mind at all. I think it's kind of a fun journal to work in. So I've been having a lot of fun. The only thing I would change is that I do wish the paper was thicker. That's the only thing that I kind of would do differently. I would have a journal with thicker paper than this one, but I have no problem using it. You can see that I add layers and I don't care how chunky the journal gets. And I think I should be able to fit the whole year in here too, which is pretty cool because I don't add a lot of like habit trackers or that kind of stuff because I don't really need them. There's nothing currently other than daily drawing that I'm, kind of trying to do. And the tracker doesn't make me do it any more than anything else. So, it's just something I'm gonna have to work on. But so you're gonna see my head pop in a little bit here. I tried to keep it out of the frame so you guys didn't see my face covering things, but my head is gonna pop in as I re-stamp all of the letters that I had to go over with that pattern paper. Luckily, they lined up really well. There was no problems there. But yeah, just do the decorations first and then you won't have this problem. You won't have to go in and try to fix it like what I'm doing here. But I think it turned out really well. And I love how this cover page came together. You'll see, like I said, when we come back in and I add a couple of just little gems to the front page, how pretty it is. But I love how this cover page came together and I'm super excited to start using it. And then we're going to jump into the weeklies. Now, I like my weeklies to be the same. I know some people like to do their weeklies super different and have lots of variation, and that's really cool. But I'm kind of a cohesive person. I like stuff to be cohesive. So I'm going to do all of my weeklies the exact same. So I've split my pages into 3 lines. And I'm going to cut the first box into 2. As I said, this is because I keep Sunday, Monday together, because to me, that's like my weekend. So I just keep those 2 days. I keep them together regardless because the calendar works that way. But now that I've gone casual at work and I take the same days off as my husband does, I keep them together just because it's easier. And that I make them smaller because of that too. Generally what I have planned is, like we go to the grocery store, or we go to Costco, or we go see my parents or something like that. Like, it's not like I have a whole line of things I need to get done. So that's kind of what I was thinking. And then I am going to cut the tops of the other weeklies off. I loved this look from the May layout. So that was the first time I've done this specific layout. And I just loved it so much. So I took a craft knife and I cut it on the dotted line that was right above where my boxes start. And my boxes are about 10 dots. That's kind of what I measured them to be. And then the line across in the middle is 14. I don't know if the measurements are at all helpful to you. Let me know if they are, because I'm happy to tell them to you. It's just that I don't know who they're helpful for, so I don't always say what I'm using. But if they are helpful to you, let me know. So I'm just going to cut the 3 pages because I am doing a 4-week layout, as I said. The first will stay with May, and then the 30th will end up in July. But that's just kind of how I've laid this out. So those 2 days aren't technically with the right calendar, but it makes more sense to me to keep the week together than to create an extra week for one day. So I mean, the beauty of a bullet journal is that you lay it out however you want to lay it out. And when I first started, like if you go back to my first video, like January and February, when I'd never bullet journaled before, I had no idea what I was really doing. I still don't know really what I'm doing. I'm just kind of playing and having a lot of fun. But I was doing like 5-week layouts so that I could keep the days that belonged in the month. But as I've kind of gone along, now I put, whatever, like the first day of June is with the May layout, just because it makes more sense in the weeks to keep it there. And I mean, it's like a 1-page flip for me because I don't do a whole bunch of habit trackers or anything like that. Like I don't have all that extra space being used in the journal. I mean, not that it would be hard to flip 2 pages regardless, but that's just kind of what I do. And then here, this washi tape actually came in the spring box as well. Like I said, it was all very cohesive, and I thought it was really pretty and fun to kind of keep together. So that's what I was thinking when I did this. And we're just going to do a little bit of decoration for this. As I said, you only really get to decorate because the rest of it is all days of the week, right? You don't really get to decorate a lot of it, although we do decorate some, as you would have seen kind of as we go in through. Oh, I guess I didn't show it in the first opening picture. You haven't seen the weeklies yet. Yeah, so they're fairly simple. I mean, you could make them as, involved as you want them to be. I don't feel the need to have a huge amount of embellishment, although I am still going to make them as pretty as possible. I try to have a lot of space because I like to kind of write down thoughts as well, or plans, appointments. Now because I'm casual, I don't have a set schedule, so work days go in there. I'm teaching classes now, so those go in there. I'm doing markets, those go in there. So I need more space to write what I need to write. And sometimes I write, if I've come up with a new idea for a sticker sheet that I'm working on, because if you've been with my channel for a little while, you know that I'm working on my Etsy shop and trying to kind of improve it and make it better. And that's going to be a big focus of June. So I will have extra notes in June kind of, on things that I came up with that could be really useful for what I want to accomplish. And then, as I said, I'm going to start this on the 2nd. So I'm just going to go through and date all of my boxes. So, the first one will have, 2 dates in the same row because I am putting 2 days there. But if you wanted to, you could, of course, do this backwards, have the space that has the 2 dates on the last one, and then have Saturday and Sunday together, if that's what works for you. But as I said, I keep Sunday, Monday together for me because that's my weekend pretty much. And you won't see the 30th show up either, as I said, because it will go into July's calendar, just so I can keep that week together. But yeah, so that's kind of the dates. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to handwrite my days of the week. I find this to be good practice because I don't practice my cursive as often as I used to. I do sometimes, depending on which pen pal I'm writing to and if I'm not worried that they won't be able to read it. But I don't practice my cursive as much as I should. So I thought this was kind of a fun way to just practice it. So I'm going to hand write all of the days of the week. And I just kind of go through and do them all. And then I was thinking, and I'm like, this is a sticker sheet that I need to make because it would be kind of fun to just have like my hand, still my cursive, but just in a sticker sheet. And then I could just go and add it. And you guys know from the May setup, if you watched it, I actually purchased some weekly stickers from Ikigai Papier, which is a Hedda shop. And I use those for that. So I think that eventually I would really like to make my own so that I could easily use them for this. As much as I want to practice my cursive, it is kind of fun to have stickers of the days of the weeks as well. So it's pretty fun to kind of come up with sticker ideas like that. And especially stuff that I can use in my own bullet journal, because then I can kind of test it and see if it's something that's worth putting time and energy into. But a lot of this setup, I did it and then wished that I had done it differently. Because I'm going to go and I'm going to add just a little strip of washi tape to the top flaps of every week. And I should have done that before I went and drew out the date and the day of the week. But again, this is like a hindsight thing. So the washi tape does cover like a little bit of it. It doesn't really matter. It's see-through. I don't worry about it, but then I was trying really hard not to cover it. So then my washi tape wasn't straight and then I had to fight with it a bit. So do that part first. See, again, a lot of this is like, don't do what I'm doing. You don't have to do what I say either, but a tip, if you want one, do that way instead of the way that I'm doing. Because now you see, I have to kind of fight with it to get it to be a little bit straight, and then it's not straight and it's got a little wrinkles in it. This is my journal, so I don't care. If I was making this for somebody else, I would care more, but this is my journal, and a lot of it is just me having fun and experiencing a completely different style of like art and organization and collage and that kind of stuff. So I'm just having a lot of fun with it. So, but I'm hopefully learning from my mistakes. So the next one, I will do the decoration stuff first. It's just that I know what the functional stuff's going to be and where I need it. And the decoration stuff, I don't, right? Because I'm kind of winging it. So that makes it a little bit harder to judge. But going forward, I will try to do the decorations first and then the functional stuff after. But that's okay. It worked out. It's pretty. I love it. The only thing I would kind of change, and you'll see it here when we go in and color the pages, because I like to add just like a line of color on my pages, is that I chose a dark color for one of them just because I wanted to see what it would be like. And I knew that I was probably going to regret it when I did it, but I'm like, how do I know if I don't get a chance to try, right? So I went in, I've got 3 different colors of markers that I've kind of tested against what I've got on the cover page, because that's what I was trying to color match. And the purple, I think, is really pretty. It's 620. It's a Tombow dual brush marker. They all are. All 3 of them are. And the greenish blue is really pretty. But I brought in this kind of dusty rose color because that's kind of what I've got going on. And it's just a bit too dark for the lines. So you're going to see what I mean here in a minute when we get to that page, because we're going to do blue first. But that's the only thing that I kind of wish I hadn't done. But honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It gave me a chance to try it out. Now I know that it's a bit too dark for what I want it for, and that's perfectly okay. So this is the whole idea of this whole like journey, is that it gives me a chance to try out different things, try out different colors, try out different techniques, try out different whatever I want, because it's for me. I'm not giving it away. It's not going to anybody else. And it's just a really great way for me to learn. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. This is the greenish blue color. It's 921 in the Tombow markers. And it's really pretty. The next one is going to be the dark color. And here I got a little confused because I can see the line of the next one through there. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This is a whole, got to go the whole way across. That's why I stopped halfway through, because you can see the line. It's like the ghosting of the next pages, like lines for the dates and the weekly. I forgot the word there for a second. So this is the color. And don't get me wrong, I love the color. I just think that it doesn't work great as a background color just because it's kind of dark. I write in black marker or black pens, sorry. So I'm going to write over it and not really worry about that. But it's just when I was putting it down, I was like, oh, this is really dark comparatively to the other 2 colors that I used. But perfectly fine. Again, it's completely for me to learn. So I love that about this. It's a very freeing expression, because there's no expectation. When I make cards, I'm expecting it to send to somebody, or I'm going to sell it to somebody, or it's made for somebody specifically, because I do take custom orders and whatnot, so And then when I'm designing other products, it's, you know, I want someone to want to buy it, right? So this is completely for me, 110%. So I get to be very loose and free with what I do in it, because at the end of the day, I do want it to be aesthetically pleasing because I like pretty things. But if I use a color that's not perfect, it doesn't matter. Like, it's, you know, I might look at it and be like, that was kind of an odd choice, but it's fine. I know why I picked it. It's just, I don't know that it was the best option for a background color. And then I love adding color. Like, I know some people put just gray for their lines or a very, very subtle color. I like color. I just think it's really fun to have that. You flip to the page and it's just beautiful colors. And then of course I have to decorate just a touch more. So we are going to bring in a few more stickers, a few more ephemeras. They're all stickers, mind you, and they're all from Grabbie. So I have another lady sticker that's sitting there reading a book. I thought that was super fitting. Excuse me. And then I have a couple of more stickers that match the lantern from the front. And I'm going to add one of those to each page. And then the little kind of book that's sitting beside my journal right there, it's full of PET stickers that are already pre-cut. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to pick out a few that I really like. I'm going to add them randomly across the page. And this is where I don't always know when to stop. I love stickers. So like, I don't know. They're just so fun. They just brighten everything up. They're just a lot of fun, in my opinion. So the problem with that is that I don't always know when to stop adding them, because I'm like, well, but I could put one here and I could put one here and I could put one here. And I got a lot of stickers in my Grabbie parcels. If you saw that unboxing, because they sent me 3 boxes to unbox so we could see consecutive what was in the boxes, and there was a lot of stickers in them. So if you love stickers as much as I do, it was like Christmas. It was so fun. But so now I have so many that it's really hard to choose. Like, I struggled to limit myself to just, you know, like the lady stickers, the lantern and the like flowery stickers with the white border, and then this book, because I was like, no, you can't add all the things. Like, you have to be able to write in here, right? So I did struggle to limit myself a little bit with how many stickers I was going to add to the page, but I had a lot of fun with this setup. I think it turned out really pretty. I love the cover page. I love the colors of it. I just think it's really fun and pretty. So, and considering I had no real plan going into this, I think it turned out pretty great. I'm pretty happy about it. I think that, I'm really, really excited. And then we are going to go in here in a second. I'm going to add a couple more stickers, I think, but I'm going to just add those gems that I was telling you about. So I brought in, these are some self-adhesive opal gems, and I'm just going to line them up. I had 3 at the top because of this little kind of corner space that was kind of odd. I just wanted something to be in there. So I lined up 3 gems, and then I'm going to put 2 more in the bottom corner just to kind of, I like uneven numbers, and I thought that would be really pretty, just have a couple more on the bottom. And then I will add 1 to the center of the doily on the calendar spread. And then that's kind of all I've done here. I think I added a couple more stickers. So if you see on the flip through here in a second, a few more stickers you didn't see me put down, that's why. I think I added a butterfly, a couple of butterflies. Like, I couldn't stop myself. I just love stickers so much that I was just having so much fun. But here, when I flip through it, you might see stickers you didn't see me lay down. That's why. It's just because I couldn't stop. I just wanted to add so many things, but I love how this came together, and I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Tell me what you think of this kind of layout. I'm just having a lot of fun with these. I don't know. It's just such a fun and creative experience. And then it helps me stay organized with all the random stuff I have going on too. So I've been really enjoying it. But yeah, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. We do new videos every Monday and Thursday. I don't know why I said we. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday, and I am doing lives every second Thursday. And if you have any ideas for the next live, leave it down in the comments. We didn't really land on anything. I am thinking about starting a painting, but you guys tell me your thoughts and we will go into that. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, and I will see you again very soon for another video. Bye-bye for now.